All right, today we're working on the distributive property. So we're doing a match with the distributive property, and we're creating equivalent expressions. So we're taking the number on the outside and we're multiplying it by everything on the inside of our parentheses. So in this case, we're doing 3.1 times 3, and then 3.1 times 6. So I'm getting my phone out so I can use my calculator, because goodness knows I don't want to have to do this by hand. So 3.1 times 3, I get 9.3 x, and then 3.1 times 6, I get plus 18.6. I can't combine because you can't combine x's and constants. So I have numbers that are by themselves. Those are called constants. And then I have numbers that have variables. I can't combine those. They're not like terms. So 5 times 5 is 25. Bring the x along for the ride. 5 times 10 is 50. So I have minus 50. 1/4 of 16, or 16 divided by 4 is 4. Bring the x along for the ride. 64 divided by 4, or 1/4 of 64 would be 1/16. All right. Half of 12 would be 6. Bring the x along for the ride. Half of 5 would be 2.5, so minus 2.5. 1/3 of 6, so 6 divided by 3 is 2. Can't forget my negative sign. I've got an x. 15 divided by 3 would be 5. 2.5 times 3, so I'm going to get my calculator back out. 7.5x, and then 2.5 times 9 equals minus 22.5. 8 times 1.3 is 10.4x, and then minus 8 times 5.1, I get 40.8. 6 times 2.8, I get 3.4. That can't be right. There we go. And then 6 times 5 is 30. 9 times 3 is 27x, and 9 times 5 is 45. 4.6 times 3 is 13.8 times x, and 4.6 times 2
Here's what I found.
is 9.2. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the other one. So I've got a negative times a negative is going to make me a positive 7x. A negative times a positive is going to give me a negative 5. A negative 1/2. So half of 8 is 4, and it's going to be a negative 4x. Half of 24 is going to be 12, and it's going to be negative, so it's going to be minus 12. Half of 10 is going to be 5, and it's going to be a negative 5. And bring the x along for a ride. And then I've got 10 times 3 halves. So I've got 3 halves times 10 over 1. So that's 30 divided by 2, which would be 15, and it's going to be negative, so minus 15. So 18 divided by 3 is 6, and it's going to be negative because a negative times a positive is a negative, x. And 9 divided by 3 is 3, but a negative times positive is a negative. All right, so 6.6 times 2 is 13.2. It's going to be negative. And then 6.6 times 5 is going to be 33. A negative times a negative, it's going to make a positive, so plus 33. All right, 12 divided by 4 is going to be 3. And a negative times a positive is going to be a negative. And then 4 divided by 4 is going to be 1. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive. Okay, 1.3 times 5. And it's going to be negative because a negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. So 5 times 3 is 15, and it's going to be negative because a negative times a positive is a negative. Negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. All right, so whatever questions you have, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you back in class as soon as you're there. Have a great rest of your day.